Welcome everybody to the Sports Counterpoints podcast. I'm GB. I got Coop and Brian with me. What's going on, guys?
Hey,
Hello.
What's going on? What's going on, man? It's December the 18th, 2024. Getting down to our last few shows of this year. Thanks everybody for rocking with us during 2024. I think we've been doing this. This will be the 5th year. So looking forward to 2025. All good things. So as we always do about this time, we'll be talking sports as they pertain to us. So you may not hear a lot of basketball or hockey or other stuff like that unless it's something interesting that we see at the time. Right now, we're going to be talking about jersey sales and the top jersey salesman in the NBA, the Heisman Award and how that shook out. We'll talk about college football as a part of that, a major coaching change in college football, and then also get to our game ball, hogwash, and minute to win it. Of course, NFL. So we'll get into that after college football. So let's start with it, man. NBA, you got the Laker hat on. Brian sent us a little tidbit that was very interesting about one of the top jersey sales in the NBA.
Yeah, I thought it was clickbait, and I thought it was BS that Brian had sent.
Yeah.
Like, somebody is over here playing games, and the reason why. Oh, go ahead, Glenn. I'll let you go ahead.
I was gonna say, B, if you want to, you brought it to us, man. What'd you see?
It's just that the sales came out, and so Bronny had made over $50 million in revenue for the Lakers, selling over 500,000 jerseys. He wasn't the number one, right? LeBron was still number one. No, those are for last year. So it looks like Bronny won't be up there, but
Crazy.
But yeah, he's sold. Well, his jerseys have been sold to over 500,000 people, making over $50 million for the Lakers. So yeah, it was the best draft pick you could possibly imagine when you think about it that way from a business perspective. If you remember that the Lakers owners, the Buss family, doesn't have any business interest. They're not billionaires because of something else who own the Lakers because the Lakers are a fun thing to own. They are in the business of running the Lakers, the Sparks, and all the other teams. So business decisions make a big deal. Their TV contracts make a big deal. And right now they pulled $50 million. Guess what? They only had to pay him $1.157 million to play this year. And he's, been mostly inconsequential and playing in the G League, but that's a $49 million, a little over a $49 million profit. That's not bad.
Man, damn sure. Wait.
Yeah.
Cool. Why you surprised, man?
All right, so look, I was never really on the Bronny hype train, you know what I'm saying? After watching him a couple games in high school, like a couple people, I remember one game, somebody had to tell me who he was because I didn't know who he was on the court. He never stood out. So for Brian to send that, I just thought it was clickbait. Now, if somebody had told me, Gilbert Arenas' son, who I've watched a few times in high school, just on TV, whatever, he was a baller to me. You know what I'm saying? I noticed him right away, and he was serving him up as a freshman in high school. I think he's a junior now. But, it's just surprising to me, because I haven't seen not one person with a Bronny James jersey on. Remember, I'm doing AAU. I'm repping AAU, high school, and CYO. I have not seen one person.
You're in the Bay Area, bro.
We also in the Bay, so yeah, that would be my thought.
It doesn't matter. It's a lot of Lakers.
It matters because there's plenty of them down here.
It's a lot of Laker jerseys up here in the Bay Area. It's a lot of Laker fans in the Bay Area, and I've seen Magic jerseys, Kareem. I've seen Kobe. I've seen LeBron. I've seen a lot of. I haven't seen not one Bronny James jersey. And if it's just in Southern California, I would think with sales like that, somebody has to be buying this jersey nationwide, not just in Southern California. So it's really surprising. I mean, it's really surprising all the Lakers.
There's 3.8 million people here in Los Angeles. 500,000 probably didn't come from here, but 300,000 probably could have.
So what I'm thinking, it probably could have been maybe 300,000, probably another 50, probably in the Cleveland, Ohio area, probably, and then maybe somewhere else. I know when he scored against Cleveland, everybody, cheered for him and everything because they watched him in high school. But I was amazed. I mean, I guess I'm naive, but I was just amazed that he just sold that many jerseys. I haven't seen not one person with him on, not one.
Yeah, I was surprised by it too, but it validated the business portion of that decision for the Lakers because he's never going to be a viable starter or player really in the NBA. I don't even know that he'll ever be a bench player. But if you can come up and profit 40 million plus off of the young dudes being on your team, there's very few teams that wouldn't do that. We see it in all sports where people add players purely to capture a moment. That's the reason why OBJ gets signed to other teams, because his presence sells jerseys, even if he's not playing. so on and so forth. So yeah. But anyways, congratulations to the Lakers. It validated what is an otherwise bad basketball move. But all's well that ends well for them.
In the business of making money, and they definitely made some money. Yeah, so good for them. I would have never, if you would have told me,
You took your headset off.
Headset off, bro. We need the mic.
My bad. If you would have told me that, he would have, if you would have bet me 10 shots that he would have a number one selling jersey anytime this year, I would have taken that bet all day. I'll be drunk right now. I wouldn't be able to do the podcast. It's like, it's unbelievable to me.
It would have been fun.
It's unbelievable. I've seen some ballers. I don't know if he's the
top. Last year it was Curry, but they don't do it. It's just at this point in the season.
Right. For a guy that doesn't play, it's not like he starts or plays. You know what I'm saying?
He's not even on the team.
Right.
He's going by name team most of the time.
Yeah. Right. So Glenn, you got any thoughts on that? Isn't that surprising to you, or you just thought,
I wouldn't, if you were to told me to say the top players, I wouldn't have got to him for a while.
Right.
Well, I take that back. I might have, because I don't know a lot of players, but I think it was surprising to me. I didn't expect it to be Bronny. When Brian said it, I thought the same thing. I thought it was a misnomer on the number or something got played out. But no, that's real. And that's the benefit of, hey man,
being LeBron James Jr.
Yeah, he's a young dude. He's he's an influencer to a degree. So you got a lot of young people. I don't know, but I know I ain't got one and ain't getting one.
Yeah, I'm around a lot of guys. Hey, you CYO high school. I hear nobody ever talk about that guy ever. I hear people say all the time, LeBron's the GOAT. You hear that because their age range. They always say that. But I never hear anybody talk about Bronny. So it's amazing. Crazy.
Yeah, LeBron James jersey costs just the same amount as a Bronny James jersey. So, they're making choices.
Yeah.
I only buy retired players. Up next, man, let's do it. So the Heisman Award, man, Travis Hunter.
This is Brian's favorite player in college, man.
Wins it. Hey, bro,
Good job.
He was the top guy on both sides of the ball.
Less. Here's the thing. I've been doing a lot of reading about him and who he is and what he's about. And he's a pretty good dude. He's just working, pimped himself out to the worst coach in college football. That said, he should not have been the Heisman winner. That should have been GT. There's nobody who has had stats that were 75% of GTs that didn't win the Heisman. Reggie Bush won it. Barry Sanders won it. If you look back any time someone's been even close to what his numbers are, they've won it. So that's unfortunate, but that's not a knock on Travis Hunter. Obviously as a two-way player, he's played well. He wasn't great at either of the positions. He was just very good at both of them. If he had played one or the other, he wouldn't have even been in consideration. But I think JT got hosed, and that's unfortunate. But that's the cost of playing in Boise, Idaho, as opposed to the NIL darlings of Colorado.
Smart.
Yeah, the Heisman Trophy, it's all about who gets a lot of hype for that year. I don't think much of it. There's been University of Miami players. Gino Torretta won the Heisman Trophy that year, and Marshall Faulk, my favorite running back ever, to be perfectly honest with you, was clearly better than Gino Torretta in the pros and in college, and he didn't win it. Gino Torretta won it, but we can go on and on about probably who should have won it, who didn't win or whatever this year, last year, whatever. I'm not particularly upset that Travis Hunter won it. I think playing for Deion Sanders actually helped him, to be perfectly honest with you. Deion, has a lot of eyeballs on him, and Travis Hunter is clearly the best player on his team, not Shedeur Sanders. He seems rather small to me, though, so I don't really know about his pro prospects. He seems a little bit little, whereas Charles Woodson kind of did the same thing, was a bit bigger, thicker. I've seen Charles Woodson in person. He's not a small guy, too small, but he has, I guess, some muscle to him or whatever, so he can last in the NFL. I haven't seen Travis Hunter in person, but he looks kind of tiny, so we'll see about how he does in the pros. But as far as him winning it, congratulations to him. But if I had a vote, nothing against Travis Hunter, I would have picked the Boise State running back too, Genty, as well, for the amazing season that he had this year.
Record breaking.
Incredible season.
I didn't, but Travis, I was looking it up. Didn't he win awards for both positions?
I'm not sure.
He made AP all the first team at both positions.
Really, at wide receiver and corner?
That's, I mean,
But
pretty.
it's
pretty
high,
good,
right?
You already said it. He's
not
the AP. It's the Associated Press.
Yeah. He's
You
not
know.
the best wide receiver or best corner in college football.
But
Not even close.
say you make
Right.
top 10 on both sides of the ball is pretty good.
Okay, but that doesn't
not
make you
even
AP
close.
first team.
But all of that still has nothing to do with it, because guess who's going to be most likely to be the first pick for the Raiders?
Yeah,
Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah,
And he wasn't even. He was mad he didn't make the finalists. I mean, he's not.
Yeah, but
it doesn't all translate. So
depends, and it also depends on who positional need. But I mean, I think it's still pretty amazing to do both. But we got to see Genty, so that was cool. So I get the concept, and he carried the ball a lot, and he was like 50% of their offense. So I get it. It's just
344 carries. That's a lot of carries.
And look, Brian, I'm not saying that Travis Hunter is
pretty impressive to do
player.
both.
I'm not saying he's a bad college player.
Oh yeah, I don't think anyone thinks that.
Yeah,
I don't think I've met literally even huge Colorado fans don't think Travis Hunter's the best, but he was the most hyped for sure.
Yeah, definitely had a lot of hype, and he definitely won't be able to do both ways in the NFL. He can forget that. That's out. He ain't going both ways in the NFL full game. Yeah, it's just too hard. Guys are just too good.
Yeah, I'm curious. I think you play one position with packages on the other side for the.
Yeah,
do it.
I'll say he plays DB or corner or whatever, and then maybe packages at wide receiver here and there. He can't go full time all game both. That's just too much.
Yeah,
he's just not good enough to be a pro wide receiver. That position is tough. Those players are tough
with the corners. So we'll see. But
I mean, you remember Troy Smith and Johnny Manziel won a Heisman, Glenn. So it's like, it's not usually the best player. Not the best player, but he's definitely one of the top players in college football this year.
I don't even watch college ball, so it means nothing to me. This is for a conversation, bro. I haven't seen I saw the guy play like twice. I saw Genty play because I was with you.
Yeah, man. Real talk.
I wasn't watching it, so shout out to all them guys. All right, so give us the other rundown in college football, man. We're in playoff time, ain't we?
No,
not playoffs.
So the first, I mean, yes, playoffs. They don't start till this Friday.
Right.
So the Indiana Notre Dame game is bowl schedule starts on the 20th. Playoff first round on Saturday: SMU versus Penn State, Clemson versus Texas, Tennessee versus Ohio State. We should probably pick those games. I think we already kind of alluded to.
Yeah, we already did. But I mean, we can go again though.
Yep.
Yeah, we both. I think I'll start with Penn State, SMU. Give me Penn State. That's pretty easy.
Yeah, that with me too. I'm with Penn State. Yep.
And then I'm on Texas over Clemson.
And I think I'm on Texas over Clemson too. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And then I'm on Ohio State over Tennessee, and you were on Tennessee.
And I'm on Tennessee. State. Right. There we go.
Okay, nice little recap. I like that.
I mean, I would talk to you about other bowls, like for instance, UNLV Cal. I would talk about that, but the thing is, people don't know about those teams. They're kind of boring, and there's a lot
the art of sport. It's LA Bowl.
It's a lot of and it's a lot of opt-outs. I mean, the quarterback for Cal's opted out, their best receiver opted out. UNLV had a bunch of people opt out. So the coach, he done left and went to Purdue. So it's like I really don't want to talk about these games, all these opt-outs. People don't know them anyway. It would be
silly to play a non-playoff bowl game at this point.
Yeah. So a lot of opt-outs. Coaches leaving. Coaches just bounce in the middle of the season. I mean, which is why I'm happy. This is one of the reasons why I'm happy players get to transfer now, because coaches get to bounce whenever they want without any repercussions. This coach, he just bounced before a bowl game. He's going to Purdue. So, yeah, we can keep going.
What else?
Well, we should talk about UNC.
Oh, yeah, Bill Belichick. I'm
not familiar.
Yeah,
Bill Belichick's going to coach college football at North Carolina.
I'm joking.
And I was reading some backstories around that. He wanted to stay in the NFL, but nobody wanted him. They didn't want the whole.
I find that hard to believe.
I was gonna say, not only do I find that hard to believe, I read about a couple teams that were interested. I think he just got antsy.
I think nobody.
Finish what you were going to say, because there's a specific point that I actually believe about this. But go on.
Yeah, so you got the whole little Belichick way. He wants control of the entire franchise, and the other teams are just not willing to do that. I mean, it worked when you had Brady, but look at his success when Brady left. I mean, it didn't look so good when he was running the entire franchise. I heard teams are scared of that. I also heard the whole Belichick way will rub people the wrong way, not only the players, but high-profile people within the organization. They don't want to succumb or, I guess live their football, I guess, life or whatever through the Belichick way, because like I said, it worked when Brady was there. When Brady left, it hasn't worked out so good. And then number three, his recent success. I always said when he drafted Mac Jones, who was definitely not a first round talent, that he was going to get him fired. And he got him fired. I mean, his success on the offensive side of the ball, Bill Belichick, of drafting players has been terrible. He's only drafted one Pro Bowl player. It was Rob Gronkowski since Brady was there. That's it. That's the only guy that made the Pro Bowl or was an all-pro player that he's drafted on the offensive side of the ball as an all-pro player. So I don't think I wholeheartedly believe teams don't trust Bill Belichick's decision-making as far as, offensive personnel, and that you have to give the entire, franchise basically to him and let him do what he wants. I really believe that as well. Now, for him going to college was actually very surprising, going to UNC. I heard he really still wants to coach, which is good for him. But I've seen these I remember when Bill Walsh went back to Stanford, he was 17 and 17. I remember there was some other guy who went back to college who was in the pros, didn't do so well either. I mean, it's not, I mean, people think, he was an NFL coach, but this is different. He has NIL to deal with. You got all these players, high school players, talking about, pretty much on their mind is how much money they're going to get. So it's going to be a different type of, you just don't recruit players. You got to give them money, and you got to, go to their house and, damn near beg, for some of these players. And I'm not sure if that's Bill Belichick's, personality. He might have other people do it. But, I just don't know how the whole college recruiting thing is going to go, even though UNC has pumped in $20 million to the whole NIL program. So he will have some money to play with and give to some players. But NFL is not like college. I'm not sure how. If I was a betting man, I would bet that it's not going to be too successful, especially at a program like North Carolina. But, Brian, I do want to know how you feel about this.
You literally are a betting man. Like literally the epitome.
Yeah, no. So I disagree with you on the reasons why, but I think the results are going to be the same. And this is a disaster. And this this makes no sense. Not for Belichick, not for UNC, except for it is very easy to raise that $20 million of NIL money when you've got a big name like Belichick. But Belichick is not a college coach. Belichick is somebody who tells the last guy in the locker room that he sucks and he may not be there. Can't do that to kids. Especially not when that kid walked in and said, "Hey, you want me to be? I'm a 4-star recruit, a 3-star recruit." He's not getting 5, but 3-star recruit out of blah blah blah. He's got to sit there and have a conversation with this kid when this kid thinks he needs to be making $1 million a season or couple $100,000 a season, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Belichick doesn't have the temperament to do that. This is the same guy who would cut players who had to talk to the media. What do you think he's going to do when some guy gets caught in a frat house, doing the wrong thing at the wrong time? You know what you can do? Not a gosh darn thing, because that's what college kids do. But so what I've read numerous times across the thing is, one, there were pro games that were interested in him, but he wasn't necessarily interested in back, because if he coaches for a pro team, what he really wants to do is get enough wins to take over the record. And if you coach horrible teams that don't have an opportunity to win that number of games over 2-3 seasons, which is about all he's got left, man, it's over 70, then he would go and do something else. And what he's going to do, I think, is he's going to set up his son. There's no way that his son was going to be able to take over as as a pro coach if he went to, any of these teams. If he left, he would get moved on just like that. But at a college program, we've seen numerous times where coaches have gone and put their kids in offensive coordinator positions, which I'm sure, or I can't remember if he's an offensive or defensive guy, but expect that he'll be either an associate head coach or an offensive coordinator or QB coach or something that has a little bit of flash to it. And won't be surprised if in 2-3 seasons he's set up, what's his name, Steven, to take over the reins, either there or someplace real close to there, because he will have showcased his kid and built a career for him, because his career is over. And the other part of it is that you wanted his girlfriend to feel at home. I mean, she's just about college age, so
that's hella funny.
I was gonna say, when you said at the frat party, he gonna catch you because he there.
That's hella funny.
Yeah, he's gonna be over there with all the kids. No, but yeah, he does not have the temperament. I mean, they're literally a couple days before it broke, there was Edelman. Who was it? Edelman, Brady, and I can't remember the other, Gronk, talking about Belichick, and this is before it had happened. And they said, "What do you all think?" And all three of them, the same one, said, "That will never be the work. That will never work. This is the worst idea ever." Was to think of Bill Belichick and his temperament in college. Well, guess what? A couple days later, now we got it.
I think
It'll be fun.
I don't think it's so. I got a little slightly different idea based off what Bill Belichick said on the Pat McAfee show. And they asked him, what if you were to coach? I think it was Pat McAfee. I might have just given him a shout out for free, but either way,
he's been on there.
I like Pat either way. But anyway, and they asked him, if you were to do it, what would happen? And he said, big if, and this is probably a week before it all happened, so it's not like very far. He said, I would be there to make a pro program. I would be in there to make sure that guys who had a chance to play in the NFL, who I thought had that talent, would be prepared to play in the NFL, and then the other guys would be prepared for their life after football, whatever that is. He said it'd be nutrition, it'd be time management, it would be basically, if you look at it as if success for Belichick is not winning national championships, but getting guys prepared for the league, I think you could probably get some 5 stars because it's going to depend on, you're going to be able to get eyes, right? It's not like you're going to a small school that's not going to be able to get you views. You have Bill Belichick there. So you're going to get national televised games. You're going to get college game day. It's going to put UNC back on. Now, I don't know that I'm not saying they run the table and they're winning hella games, but I think if his version of success is getting guys prepped, and to that point you bring in a bunch of other pro guys. Brian, you made a great point with the son. I didn't even think about that. Get your son set up, get him properly situated. You got him as a feeder for wherever he wants to go. Whatever other players come, they can get prepared for that next step to the league, and you're just teaching, right? I don't know if his temperament, he might have calmed down too. He knows he's a grown man. He knows he's going to college, so Saban was firing, was yelling at fools too, but you bring it down a little bit. You got your other coaches in there. You like you said, Coop, you now have access to run everything. Ain't no one gonna tell Bill Belichick no. So you do what you do. You get some players. You get them set up for the league. You have a couple guys get drafted high. Boom.
Yeah, I want to.
I don't think that works just because his 20 million is what Travis Hunter's getting at Colorado.
Yeah,
like the good kids, the ones that are going to be going to the pros.
Yeah, Shedeur Sanders getting like 4 or 5. Yeah,
well, I would think Shedeur Sanders is the top
top guy. Yeah, he's getting like 4 or 5.
I think it's going to depend on.
He's over 20.
I think it depends on where you want to go, right? Like if your point is to get to the league and actually do something in the league, I think you have, in my opinion, right? You'd have a different mindset than let me get paid as much as I can now potentially. Because some of them guys, your college career is right? That's why guys would stay because you have a better chance of making that bread. You get to the league, you may not get that second deal.
You say get to the, the Miami Hurricanes have Jason Taylor on their staff. Jason Taylor is a Hall of Fame defensive lineman. That means that every defensive lineman will want to go to Miami because he can help them get to the league.
It ain't Bill Belichick.
I don't know.
Unfortunately, the NIL pays the players, and I actually like that. I'm not saying that that's.
Yeah, I'm curious,
but it's a business, and kids don't go because they want to hang out with coaches.
Yes.
Here's a perfect example.
Parents
Quinn
decide
Ewers came into the season as the top QB in football. Got hurt, didn't look as great. They're talking about paying him over $20 million to go play in Oregon or USC.
Yeah.
For one player. He has no loyalty to Texas. He wasn't there because he do it. He wasn't going to go over to Belichick.
Yeah.
He's thinking about this as, if I'm not a top 4 quarterback pick in the draft,
correct,
I will make more playing for Oregon or SC.
Absolutely.
Than I'll be able to make there. How does Belichick get a quarterback who is likely to be in the league with $20 million and his say so? It's not that it's impossible. I just think that
I'm curious to see.
I think Belichick has this idealization of himself where he thinks that his name is enough to attract players. And they just show me the money.
I think he's going to be like Tomlin. I think he's going to be a CEO head coach. I don't think he's going to be all up in the weeds like a lot of people think he is. And he already got Mike Lombardi to help, run his little operation as well. Like I said, NFL operation. But I want to say I read it from Sam Amick, I think it was, where he was saying, about how the NFL teams, because he wants to stay in the NFL and nobody wanted to deal with him. I mean, I wholeheartedly believe Sam Amick because I think it was him. But he said he wanted the Chicago Bears job, and Chicago Bears didn't want nothing to do with Belichick. That's the job he wanted. And they said no. So He ended up going to college, and that's where he's at now. But I don't think Belichick's going to be too hands-on. I think he's just going to be more like a CEO. And if he has a talented player, I'm sure he's going to do whatever he can to try to get that guy. He can see his potential and try to get
Yeah,
that
I'm
guy
curious to
into
see.
the league. A guy here or there. But I don't think
Yeah.
the whole team. I don't expect them to have a team full of people like Texas does. Texas has a roster full of dudes. I don't expect that to happen at UNC. I just don't. Just Texas have deep pockets, and New York Carolina doesn't.
Sure.
And Belichick is not going to, make that happen. But go ahead, Brian.
Where I do think he'll be able to make haste, and he already has, according to him, is in the transfer portal. People like Miller Moss, who were thought of as a star, and ultimately didn't take advantage of their chance.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're not making NIL dollars because they're yesterday's news.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense for a Miller Moss to then transfer into a place like UNC.
Please.
It also makes sense because Belichick is probably
Feeder and development.
tolerant of a senior type player with that demeanor and kind of understands it's a last ditch effort. I just think it's hard for him to be able to recruit 4 and 5-star players out of high school who are going to want millions of dollars up front.
Yeah.
But the transfer portal, I think he could be successful, man.
Yeah, Glenn. I hear a lot of these college coaches or assistants or whatever in magazines
I've
or
heard
online.
it too.
They all talking about, man, the first thing on players' mind, how much money am I getting? How much money? I mean, that's not Bill Belichick's cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean,
don't know. We'll see.
He comes from the salary cap world, so we'll see. I mean, I think I guess my thing is it just depends on what success means, right? What the version of success means. So I think he can get some
if it's
guys
just
that'll
getting
come there and get to the league, and
so if it's getting
a
players
lot
to the
of guys
league,
that are going to learn about the pros and have a better example. You also have guys that you got to think, a lot of guys, it's 7 rounds. Everybody ain't a first round pick. So some of these guys may now who are at UNC may get looks that they wouldn't have got, get them in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, maybe make a career out of it.
When you hire a
I don't
coach
know.
in college football, it ain't about getting guys in the league. It's about wins. That's how you get the TV contracts. That's how you get them bowl game money. That's how you get all that.
Sure.
So,
And them
if
eyes.
so, the school, I understand what you're saying, getting guys to the league. That ain't how the school's looking at it, getting other guys to the league. It's about getting wins. You know what I mean? That's how you get that. That's how you get that money. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, the TV deals are part of the overall conference, all right?
Right, but you gotta have some teams in there that will networks going to
and
pay money
they do
for
have
it.
an advantage.
You will
Jason
see UNC a lot more than you've seen them in the past. I bet that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll bet you that. Yeah.
Well,
they play in the
because
ACC.
they get to play. And the ACC football's not all that serious.
Yeah.
The big.
Right.
They're playing Cal. They're playing. They're playing ACC teams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wake Forest. So yeah.
But anyways,
should be good.
There it is. Okay. Anything else on that? Otherwise, let's slide to the league. Start talking NFL.
Yeah,
let's talk about this. Let's talk about this last week, man. Starting at, and let's just run them down quick as we can. Starting at Thursday night, which was that last Thursday? Was that y'all? No.
I think it was us when Debo dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Oh man, I guess it was. Yeah. That was last week. All right, yeah. Give us the rundown of Field Goal Fest.
Oh man, they must have run down.
What a horrible way to start fantasy football playoffs.
Playoffs.
I agree to that. I mean, look, I've been hearing that's the nail in the coffin to the 49ers season. If you ask me, the nail in the coffin was a few weeks ago. But I mean, look, I think we both had the Rams in this one, both saying that the Rams will find a way to win, even if Debo's drop assisted in that. The defense has played pretty well in this game, pretty good in this game. But I mean, look, 49ers have found every conceivable way to lose, whether it's drop passes, missed kicks, blowing fourth quarter leagues, which they blew about 4 or 5 this year. I mean, that Debo drop pretty much just sums up the entire season for the 49ers. It's just been out of sync, since, the first couple of weeks of the season. It never got any, they never had any rhythm. They haven't played 4 straight quarters of good football, maybe against the Bears, but probably that's it. It was a loss for the 49ers. I expected it. Maybe not in the way it went down 12-6, but I expected this loss to take place.
Bro,
Brian?
this was drastic. This was terrible for you guys. Go ahead, B.
Oh no, you said it all. I mean, this game wasn't interesting enough to speak too much more on it. I mean, It was just an awful event for anybody who had to deal with fantasy football playoffs. Broke my heart when Puka Nacua got that 11-yard run at the end of the game, and it was considered a lateral,
right. right.
not a pass. So instead, he got stuck at 97 yards and not 100 yards. That ultimately cost me my fantasy football season in the league.
So Coop, I want you to put on your I'm clowning hat, right? Because if this was now, and just imagine that this is the Raiders. So I want to get your full reaction. Coach says, "Hey, you're in the game." Player says, "Nah, I'm cool." Just dips.
Man.
So it's the Raiders though. It's not your teams. I don't want to hear the soft.
Yeah,
How would you clown if it was
Can't
us?
win with them.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it's not. I mean, if the Raiders, I mean, this has happened like more than once with other teams, not just the Raiders, not the 49ers. It's happened with other teams too, where guys didn't want to come in, just that it was highly publicized because Kyle Shanahan just actually said it. He said the truth of what
I
happened.
don't.
So I mean,
You're not answering the question I'm asking, Coop. I feel like if it happened on the Raiders, you would be like, "That's some Raider type stuff. Y'all
no,
can't handle it. Your season's over. The coach lost the locker room. Get
no,
rid of Pierce. You're
I
getting
don't.
real. You're getting soft in your old age, man.
No,
What
no, no.
happened?
I don't say this is a Raider type thing. I never say that. A Raider type thing.
I
I
mean,
never say
when
that.
stuff happens to us, it's like, yeah, that sounds like y'all. I can't trust y'all. You
No,
can't lose. I'm just saying, if
I
it looks
picked y'all
pretty
to win
bad,
this week against Atlanta, and y'all couldn't get it
we
done.
should
So
have.
that's a whole nother story. But
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about
but
that. I
yeah,
got questions
no,
for that. It just felt like it was interesting, man.
I mean, no. What was interesting about it is how John Lynch came down from the booth to go confront him
Yeah,
about it, and then
yeah,
sent
that's
him
G.
off the field.
Yeah, that's OG.
That right there was the whole. Him not wanting to play. I'm like,
That's
whatever.
big dog.
But instead, when John Lynch came down, that's what kind of piqued my interest. That he actually confronted this dude because John Lynch, he ain't
He's a beast.
scared. It's like I'm
Yeah.
not saying that if they fought that John Lynch would have won, but John Lynch was a former player and he was known to be a badass.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you ain't going to the game, then get the hell off the field.
Well, he certainly was vindictive. I mean, because they could have cut him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said
And they intentionally made sure to not cut him.
they don't want him going somewhere else.
Suspend him to make sure that he couldn't go to another team and play in the playoffs or play at all.
Didn't want him to be
Yep.
rewarded.
And don't have
we
to
want
pay
to
him
make
any
sure
money.
he wanted to make darn sure that it was the end of his season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also say I think they can recoup maybe some of the signing bonus too that he ordered. I don't know if that's true or not.
But it's
Yeah.
because they suspended him, it'll be a little more difficult. But
No.
Just
Go
sound
ahead.
like the coach has lost the locker room to
No
me.
game check. Lost the locker room. Really?
well, that's okay because they're going to talk about trading him to the Chicago Bears in the offseason.
Who was that? Oh yeah, Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, for the offensive coordinator?
No, for the coach. People were saying
there's
for the
a bunch
last.
of people talking about how the 49ers should trade Kyle Shanahan to the Chicago Bears for picks.
He's washed, bro.
Y'all
should get rid of him.
Well, I've been hearing
we
the
need an
other
OC
way.
anyway.
I've been hearing the other way. I've been hearing the Chicago Bears should inquire from the 49ers the availability of Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, that's what
I'm talking about. That's what I just said.
No. You said the 49ers have been trying to trade him. That's not what
I didn't say anyone's trying to trade anybody. I said the conversation was 49ers should try and get draft picks for him.
Oh, okay.
Because because it's done there. But anyways, I don't know. I don't think there's actually been any conversation. This is all speculation.
No, it's all speculation. They're saying the Bears should do that. Yeah, to get an offensive guy. Yeah.
I don't think they should. I just, like I said, I think people are talking about it.
It was tough.
I don't think it will happen, but yeah.
It was a tough one. It was rainy too out here, so I was there. All right, so let's run them down. So I'm gonna just say it. If you guys have a couple thoughts, throw it. If you want it, we'll dive deeper on the other ones. I'll go through them all. Commanders beat the Saints 20-19. Doubt you guys had a lot on that.
I don't have nothing on that.
Good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the only reason it was important was that the Commanders had to win that game, and the Saints almost came back. They scored 12 points in the last quarter. Had the Saints found a way to win that game, it would have been
they were on the 3.
Hugely impactful in the NFC.
But they did not. They were on the 3-yard line.
They did not.
Chiefs beat the Browns 21-7.
Hey, how many interceptions did Jameis Winston throw this game?
All of them.
More than one.
And Patrick Mahomes is getting a pass. He's really bad right now. He's not playing well
and hurt now.
But they keep winning. And what's interesting to me is there's all this fervor over whether or not he's going to be able to play this week because he has a high ankle sprain, or whether Wentz is going to be able to play. It'll be interesting to see what happens because it looks like he's going to play. And I'm just curious because 159 yards is not something that can't be replicated by Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I'm happy you said that because I was going to ask you about that. If I'm the Chiefs with a 2-game, well, actually 1 game because the tiebreaker is the Bills, I would play Carson Wentz in this next game and then treat the game against Pittsburgh like a playoff game because the Bills aren't losing for the rest of the season. So you have to assume they're going to win.
That's the problem, right? Is that if they lose 1 game, they lose the bye. and the bye to start the playoffs, because you only get one bye
No.
per conference now. So that bye is extremely important.
Right,
The
but
Chiefs
KC
have
can
it.
lose. They can lose. They're 2 games up. They can lose this game, still be 1 game up on the Bills. That's why the Pittsburgh game will be a playoff game. They will have to win that one.
Look, I don't know. I don't know if I'd risk it. I understand the point, but
If
I
Mahomes
think
can play, you're not keeping him out. So
Shit, I
Sure.
don't know. I would rather have Mahomes for the Steelers than this
Sure.
next game.
look,
There's
I just
no
don't
way
think
he's
it
not gonna play.
matters. I don't think he's playing well enough right now. I mean, maybe a week to get his head right would be fine.
You know, Cleveland made a quarterback change now, so Winston's not starting. Dorian Thompson from UCLA.
Yeah, they did that in the middle of that game.
Yeah. So
and
he's going to
starting
start now.
Jameis
Yeah.
threw 3, Dorian threw 1.
Right.
Interceptions, not touchdowns.
Yeah. There you go. Moving on.
Bengals beat the Titans 37-27.
I have
Joe
nothing.
Burrow's cooking, man. He's just on a team that's losing a lot. That's crazy. He's having a great season.
Yeah.
Dolphins.
I need him to stay relevant because they have a lot of playoff hopes on him.
Joey B. Dolphins lose to the Texans 20-12.
Yeah, this dude Tua, man. I don't know. I just don't like the Dolphins. I don't like the owner. I don't like the way they run the team. I don't like how they dole out money to player. That was a dumb contract to Tua. Give a guy who can't play in cold weather, who's always hurt and not even that good, that kind of money. But I saw Tua play in this game.
They're gonna give Purdy they're gonna give Purdy 10 million more.
I got another guy that you like that got paid that kind of money. We'll get there.
Yeah, there you go. Look, Tua's desire to play, I mean, I like that. He wants to play football. He doesn't give a damn what other people think. They think he might get killed. He doesn't care. He wants to play. I love that. The problem is, though, this dude, he's reckless. Why would you give this reckless guy, this kind of money? He did a play for a first down. They actually got called back because of a holding penalty, but he dove in front of 2 people trying to kill him. It's like this dude's still trying to tackle this dude. He just
won't stop.
And I've said this ever since Sam Bradford was at Oklahoma. Quarterbacks that get hurt in college get hurt in the pros. And this dude Tua, he's not going to change the way he plays. After I saw him dive like that, he's not changing the way he plays. This is who he is. Yeah. I mean, he's going to get hurt again. So everybody needs to just brace themselves. It's going to happen.
Keep him safe.
Man.
Ravens beat the Giants 35-14. Lamar has 5 touchdowns. I got to reference that because he's
Thank you, Ravens, for covering the spread. Appreciate that.
He's got quite a few games over 4 touchdowns. He does that pretty often. There's not a lot of QBs that are doing that, especially your favorites. Jets beat the Jaguars. That actually, Devontae and Aaron Rodgers, I ain't even gonna lie, I'm glad he's over there because it's fun to watch that, man. Their connection is crazy. Like they had some passes and some catches. Like they're just on time. It was cool to see. I can't even lie. So the Jags.
Wait a minute. Both these teams are so bad, and he was able to capitalize.
They played the Jaguars.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't say it was the 84 Bears.
But he still had the exact same stat line, basically. Mac Jones had 294 yards.
Hey,
is 289.
I'm just talking about Devontae's game. Devontae was catching everything.
If you're going to glorify Lamar Jackson
himself.
against the Giants, you can glorify anybody against the Jaguars.
No. I was talking about multi-touchdown games. He's also done that against the Bengals and other teams. I was just saying multi-touchdown games, which which one of your favorites we get to later and got a lot of those. So Cowboys beat the Panthers 30-14. Bryce is playing a lot better, but Cowboys got him a win.
All you need to know about this game is the Panthers were favored for the first time in 4 years. That should have scared you away from the Panthers right away if you know anything about gambling. Panthers favorite.
Anyway, Rico Dowdle, I don't know where that version of him has been most of the season, but he looked great.
That's
carries, 150 yards.
That's what they was hoping for, right?
Yeah.
Next game. So barn burner in Los Angeles. My word, what a game. There was a quarterback who threw 4 touchdowns, had 1 interception. It was the Buccaneers and the Chargers. Guess what team he played for?
Go ahead and say it.
It was not the Chargers.
The Chargers.
Justin Herbert, 2 touchdowns, a pick. Jimmy G-esque, 195.
Jimmy G-esque.
Lost. Look bad doing it. 40-17. They got beat by more than us with the top scoring defense in the league. Baker's playing some great ball. All my jokes aside, Baker's playing.
Welcome back, Mike Evans. Football. Let's say that too. Welcome back, Mike Evans.
Mike needs like 284 yards in 3 games and like a touchdown and maybe like 10 catches to earn $3 million more on his contract. So I hope he gets it because that's
Mike Evans. I like Mike. He's on my fantasy team. He's
he balls.
Well, he's been back for 4 weeks. And they haven't lost a game since he's come back. Their 3 losses are all
he's nice.
where he's injured or not available.
Yeah, Baker plays good ball when the running game's on point. In the running game, Irvin had 117 yards on 15 carries. White had 64 yards on 15 carries. Even Baker Mayfield had a couple carries for 25 yards. Baker plays really well when the running game's on point.
He's been playing really well the last like 8 weeks.
The running game was on point. Baker threw four touchdowns, 280 yards. Had a good game. I'm glad you brought this game up because everybody's talking about this guy, Ben Johnson, as being the best thing since Andy Reid times Mike Shanahan times Bill Walsh. Yeah. Ben Johnson, this offense coordinator for the Lions. Ben Johnson, that's all I'm hearing. My game ball, I'm giving out 2 game balls. 1 game ball is going to Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles has been keeping this team together, even with injuries to Mike Evans, injuries to Chris Godwin, and they're about to win this division again, man. And that's a tribute to Todd Bowles' coaching, man. He's kept this team together. They're winning games. They had a good win against the Chargers. The Falcons seem to be falling apart. Everybody's favorite, Raheem Morris, because he's part of that whole McVay tree. That's all I heard about for 6 months. Nobody's talking about Todd Bowles, man. He definitely should get some Coach of the Year votes or consideration, man.
Great.
Good job for him.
Yeah, they could have beat y'all and the Chiefs too. They were playing damn good football. Baker's cooking right now. What did you like about Justin Herbert in the last few weeks?
It doesn't matter. I still like his talent. I would take him on my team.
I mean, I would take him too, but over Desmond Ridder.
He's a playoff quarterback. He's making the playoffs this year.
He's going to the playoffs. Yeah, more than what I can say. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. More than what you can say. More than what I can say. He's going to the playoffs.
I mean, that's cool. That's not a quarterback stat, but okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's not a quarterback.
So
stat.
This is for anyone who listens and has heard my Herbert hate for a while. It's really to them. Herbert could play. I would take him right now, but it's more the joke of none of us can pinpoint what we like about him.
Oh, I can. His talent.
I've asked you this so many times. Yeah, but where is it shown at? Like, is he throwing passes and during practice that are hitting buckets or something? Like in the games, it ain't there. But anyway, so that's my little bit of.
Did you see him in the playoff round? Did you see him when he had Brand Staley and he was carrying that team?
Playoff
run. Did you see him?
Excuse me? I think you said playoff run. I must have heard you. You're wrong. I haven't seen him on no playoff
when
run.
He made the playoffs with Brandon Staley. Did you see him? He was carrying that team. The dude's talented.
But you had said, and I'm letting you go because we do this. You had said that like you got to win playoff games because that's what we judge.
Oh, it's important. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's important. Yes.
And they gave up a 27-point lead that he played the whole game. So again, he's weak.
But I'm with you on the inconsistency because
eventually you're gonna have to say it.
That Herbert has done successfully. Lamar Jackson has too. But Lamar Jackson
telling the fans
it's okay.
I'm doing this every time.
The dude has talent.
Yeah, me too. I like Herbert as well.
Me too. I'm just wondering like where it shows. Like I guess even if you said he throws a pretty football, I could take that. But he has talent.
To me, he carried a bad coach to the playoffs. The dude is
what has he done for me lately?
He's good.
He's got a good coach now, does he? You'd agree? So now but I think I saw something yesterday. I think B said it, which was funny. And they were already blaming like something happened. Oh, it was his first pick since week 2.
Yeah, since week 2. I mean, it is impressive to have as many yards as he have and only have like 3-4 on the season. I will give him that.
But
he does not turn the ball over.
But they have a running offense and no receivers. I know I'm clowning. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna carry on. Colts.
Hey, Ladd McConkey's good.
Yeah, he could play. Colts, Buccaneers. Colts beat Colts, Broncos. Broncos beat the Colts 31-13. I was gonna clown both, but Bo Nix was slinging it. I had to shut my mouth.
I'm a clown.
He was slinging it. He threw for only 130 yards and 3 interceptions. Yeah, he got 3 touchdowns, but 130 yards and 3 interceptions is not exactly. Yeah, I was waiting for you to go in on him on this.
No, that's all you need because he won. So I can't say anything because if you win games, then you got to be.
Well, I mean, he won, but who did he win? Because he has a better coaching team, or just because he's just hella good? I mean. Some quarterbacks are carried by their team. And it actually helps when you play against a terribly inaccurate quarterback like Anthony Rich. And this dude couldn't hit water if he was standing in a boat. He doesn't even know where the ball is going when he throws the ball, man. I mean, Anthony
Richardson
is terrible.
Look good. I will say for anybody
17 out of 40 or something.
For anybody listening, I said Bo Nix would be Herbert, and so far they're doing the same thing because your explanation now was it's not a team stat, but the defense carried him. He threw picks, but then Herbert got smoked. And it's like, well, coaching, he got talent. It's not his fault.
So you'd rather have Bo Nix over Herbert? I mean, who would you or every GM in the league would rather have? Bo Nix or Herbert?
Take they both the same quarterback,
let's have this conversation in the second half when we're picking this week's games because they play each other this week.
Yes, the mid bowl. Yes.
The Chargers
Ball.
versus the Broncos.
Yes.
It's
the
the
Pretender
Chargers
Bowl.
versus the Broncos. It's not Herbert versus
Oh.
Bo Nix. It's
Well,
Not
like,
for
it
me.
was Caleb versus Jaden Daniels when they played.
Oh, not for me,
It's
bro.
not. It's the team versus the
Man,
team.
I'm over there with a clipboard. Every pass overthrown, underthrown. Oh, I'm on their head, bro. It better be
Well,
45 to 46 with
Nah,
6
I don't
touchdowns
expect that.
each.
I
Yeah,
expect a low scoring game in that one, but go ahead.
yeah, because their defenses are good, right? Not because and the quarterbacks ain't shit. All right. Patriots lose to the Cardinals. All right. Bills line.
Wait. They lost. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they were never in that game. I think Gerard Mayo might be a one and done. It didn't look good at all.
They
But go
got
ahead.
someone else. I think Drake May's
we
kind of
didn't talk Packers Seahawks,
We haven't got there
which
yet.
was actually a very important game.
Yeah, we haven't got there yet. I got you.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Bills Lions. Bills 48, Lions 42. Back-to-back
Yeah,
weeks
you
of
want to
40
start with this one, Brian?
points.
Because I got some stuff to say on this one. You want to start?
Back-to-back weeks of
Yeah,
40.
I mean, look, Josh Allen all season. The one thing I've said about Josh Allen is he's the one dude who can carry a team that you can count on, and he did it again. And he is just that guy. He deserves the MVP. He's most likely going to get it. And he just kind of cemented that position by winning a game. But here's the thing. Here's the story for me as a NFC person who has their team in the NFC and all of that. The Detroit Lions came back in this game and never gave up. You cannot count the Detroit Lions up. The Buffalo Bills are really a solid team. They know how to do what they know how to do, but somehow you can never count the Detroit Lions out. They came back. They scored 21 points in the last quarter. They made this a football game towards the end. I'm still nervous about the Lions, but I do think that this is the Super Bowl that everyone wanted to see. And if it wasn't for the fact that I'm hoping my team got there, I would agree with that. But this was a great football game because it was interesting. There was scoring. You didn't necessarily know that one team was going to win. It looked like Buffalo Bills might run away with it when they in the end of the fourth quarter. It was 14-0. But the Lions kept on coming back. They're the most resilient football team in the NFL right now.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I gotta give a shout out to Nate because he bet me on this game. I took the Bills in this game. He took Detroit, and he paid me promptly after the game. So thank you for that.
That's a good
But
game.
the reason why I told him and other people why I took the Bills this game is because there's nobody on Detroit's defense that can defend Josh Allen. Nobody. The Lions' defense has been what's not being talked about.
It's decimated with injuries, but they all come back in 2 weeks.
What's not being talked about is the injuries on the Lions' defense, and they lost 2 more players in this game. This 48-42 score is the most misleading score of all season. This people think, oh, it was an exciting game. It was close. No, it wasn't. The Bills scored on every down. They were getting broads on every down. They had a big lead, and they started playing prevent, and then Detroit came back, and that's how they got the score as close as it was because they played prevent defense. If the Bills would have kept going the way they were going, they would have scored 60 points in this game. They were peppering Jared Goff in the first half, getting to him because Jared Goff has to stay in the pocket. They kept hitting him, knocking him down. I think they had 3 or 4 sacks in the first half. They kept hitting him. He has to stay in the pocket. He can't move around. He has to be a statue. If he's not a statue, if you get him moving, he's not the same quarterback. And when they played prevent in the second half, he got to stay in the pocket. He threw a good pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown, but this is the most misleading score of the season. The game was not this close.
I won't get into it because we don't got time, but you were so dead wrong on that. This was both an exciting game, and Jared Goff's 494 yards, even on a prevent defense, is pretty freaking hard to do. Yeah. But
the most misleading score of the season. Bills were killing them.
How's it misleading?
Scoring every down.
You know what score? What
prevent?
You know what score wasn't misleading? 40-17 Buccaneers over Chargers. How about Steelers and
12-9,
Eagles? Steelers and Eagles 13-27 Eagles win.
Oh, I mean, didn't TJ Watt get hurt this game too?
I mean, Eagles is they was playing pretty solid.
Yeah, Eagles playing really good football. I mean, yeah, they're playing good football. I think I picked Pittsburgh to win, but Philadelphia Eagles definitely showed that they're the better team in this one. And with TJ Watt being hurt, I'm not sure if Pittsburgh wins any more games the rest of the season. That's going to be tough because he's pretty much their team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But a good win for the Eagles, though, definitely.
I don't think there was a mystery about which team is more talented. It was just a matter of whether or not, the Steelers could find a way to win, which is what they've been doing all season long. And this was also the first game that Russ Wilson was playing that he didn't have an outstanding performance. He only threw for 128 yards. It's the lowest output he's had in the season. So, I don't think that the Steelers are done, but they're going to have a hard time beating super playoff teams, both now and in the playoffs, which they're almost certainly going to get into. And they've got probably the hardest stretch, and I said this last week, of anyone in the league. They had the Eagles, the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Bengals to finish out their season. That's a ridiculous 4-week lineup to go into. They could very easily lose out, but they would still make the playoffs even if they do.
Oh, all right. Moving on. Monday night games, man. They did us dirty by putting both our teams on at the same time. I've never seen that. I've been watching football.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For a long time. Bears, Vikings. Vikings win 30-12. B.
This was it was interesting because the Vikings have consistently found ways to make me extremely nervous. And they started off a little slow in this game, and then once they got that scoring going, they just didn't look back. It was very, very even. Sam Darnold 230 with 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but Aaron Jones had a touchdown. Cam Akers had a touchdown. They just found ways to continue playing and getting into field goal range. The worry I have is that I feel like they settle too much on offense towards the second half, towards the end of the second half of the games. They think that field goals are enough, and you can do that against the Chicago Bears at 4-10. But you cannot do that against the Lions. You cannot do that against the Packers, who are a good team. You can't do that against the Eagles, and you can't do it against the Rams. We saw that. And so, my concern is whether or not they're going to be able to find that killer instinct so that they can turn those 3 field goals into at least 2 more touchdowns when they need them.
Cool. Before we go back to that, my bad, I skipped. Seahawks, you said Packers, and I forgot about that. Packers, Seahawks. Packers win 30-13. Sorry, we'll jump back to this game.
Yeah, it was just an important game because, ultimately for the NFC West, it was an important game because, the Seahawks are trying to hold on. I said after the Rams beat the Vikings that I thought that they were going to make the playoffs and win that division, and it looks like it's going to happen. But that was, the Packers are really, really good. They're not getting the hype because they have some losses, but their losses, I think they have 6 losses to the entire NFC
division
has 6 losses, and all 3 of them are to themselves. The Packers are an underestimated team because their record is 10-4. But they've lost to the Eagles, playoff team, the Vikings, a playoff team, the Lions, a playoff team, and the Lions again, a playoff team. That's a quality team that just kind of gets overlooked. So it was no surprise to me that they beat the Seahawks. I didn't know that they were going to curb stomp them. 30-13 was an impressive one.
That boy Josh Jacobs was running.
Yeah, and if Josh Jacobs didn't actually fumble, that probably would have been maybe
that was a good
worse
defensive
score.
play.
A worse score, but Green Bay has a roster. I said this earlier in the season. Green Bay has a good roster, and then soon as Sam Howell entered the game, a guy who I've told everybody, who says I'm hard on quarterbacks. Yeah, you're so hard. He sucks. He's terrible. Came in was terrible. But anyway, as soon as he came in the game, Green Bay was going to run away with this game. So definitely a good win for Green Bay. And it was a good win. Seattle is just, look, they're a middle of the road team with Geno Smith. Without Geno Smith, they're a bad team. So that's what happens.
All right, so my bad. Let's go back to.
I said what I needed to say about the Vikings. I'm worried about their ability to go forward. Jason, what'd you have?
Yeah, I never doubted that the Vikings would beat the Bears. It's the Bears. Yeah. I never doubt that. The Minnesota covered the spread. They won easily. It went for them that they need, and I think they're 11-2, 12-2, something like that. So yeah,
12-2.
Yep.
Last game of the week, and then we're gonna run through this week.
Tied with the Lions.
Falcons, Raiders. Falcons were awful. Another team that we've gotten someone fired, quarterbacks, coaches. You play us if you don't look dominant, people be getting fired at the end of the year. We'll get to see the Penix show now, so that's cool. I thought it was interesting that we even were in that game at the end with a chance to potentially. They had a Hail Mary. It's not even a Hail Mary, 1-35, but a chance to do it with Desmond Ridder was crazy. Desmond Ridder played the whole game. We couldn't really score, but we were still in the game. The defense did everything they could. Held the Falcons to 15. So yeah, It's what it is. I don't know if you guys have anything on that one. Otherwise, let's keep it
Well, I
moving.
mean, I picked the
Nah, let's
Raiders to
move it.
win, but I didn't know that Desmond Ritter was starting, to be perfectly honest with you. I actually forgot that the other
Yeah.
quarterbacks were hurt or whatever. If I had known that, I would have stayed away. But I mean, like you said, they had a chance to win, but I knew with Desmond Ritter leading the charge, I didn't think it was going to happen. But the Falcons did
Falcons
not
are
play
awful,
well
bro.
at all. I
They're
mean,
awful.
they didn't play. I mean, I think Kirk Cousins finally threw a touchdown pass first time in
That's
some
always how it
some
goes.
weeks now. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's the right move to go to Penix. I'm not saying it's going to be upgrade, but at least you want to see what he can do. So it's good time to go to him. But
It's
I don't have
interesting
nothing else.
trying to make a playoff run. So we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
they need to win, kind of win out
Yeah.
if they want a chance, but we'll see. All right, so let's run it down, guys. The mid bowl, the Pretenders Bowl, Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, game I'll be watching tomorrow. Broncos Chargers. Who you got?
Well, the Chargers are favored by 3. Glenn, what do you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
Herbert is favored over Knicks.
Yeah, why not? Whatever. 3-3, whatever. It's tomato. It's the same guy. What y'all got?
Well, the Chargers are a running team. I mean, that's what Harbaugh does. He doesn't want to pass the ball a lot. And the offense is pretty much, since J.K. Dobbins landed on the IR, they ranked 31st, I'm sorry, in success rate running the ball. And they have to be able to run the ball, which is contributing to their offensive woes. So having said that, I would definitely take Denver +3 in this game. Definitely.
I don't know why they'd have offensive woes with such a superstar quarterback. It just boggles my
So,
gosh darn mind.
yeah, I'm with you, Jason. I find this spread to be interesting. And again, Vegas knows things that we don't, but there's no real reason why the Broncos, who have a better defense and have been playing better football and also have a better record, should be the dog here. I would take the 3 points. I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to run away with it, and so I would take the 3 points too.
Yeah, but if I was betting on this game, I would definitely take the under 42.5. And with these offenses, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't trust it. Yep.
All right, so let's
Next
run it
game?
down. Yeah, let's run it down quick because we're already at that time. All right, so Texans Chiefs. I don't have the line, so if y'all want to do the lines, do it. Texans Chiefs Saturday.
Don't tell me, Brian. I don't know what the line is either. I'm thinking maybe it could be Chiefs -3.5.
Yeah, that's about right. But
Okay.
but anyways, this is all about whether Mahomes plays or not, right? So if Mahomes, I think that assumption is that Mahomes plays. I'll say this: if Mahomes plays, the Chiefs are going to win. All the black magic will work for him. If he doesn't play, I think the Texans have a fighting chance, and I would take the Texans. But absent under knowing what's going to happen there, I'd leave this game alone.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see a damn point.
another-
I don't see
Go
a point spread for this game.
Yeah, it's KC -3.5.
It's really hard for me to back the Texans on the road. I just don't think they're that good. I think they're okay. I would still take the Chiefs in this game, even if Carson Wentz is the quarterback. But I agree with you. It's all about if Mahomes plays or not. But I would take CJ Stroud is not really playing that great this year. Even though I like him, he's not really playing that good this year. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Steelers Ravens Saturday at 1:30.
B?
Take the team with the worst record, the 9-5 Ravens over the 10-4 Steelers, even with the 6.5 point spread.
Oh, God damn, it is 6.5. You know what? No TJ Watt. I'll take Baltimore. I never would do this, but I would take Baltimore in this one. But on the point spread as well, too. Yeah. No TJ Watt. It's gonna be hard.
I'm just running through them all. Giants Falcons, just because Penix is playing his first game. Quick thoughts. Very quick.
It's Falcons -9. I'll take the Giants. Penix first game. I'll take the Giants.
Okay.
Plus the 9.
I'll take the Falcons.
All right. Lions Bears Sunday at 10.
Well, the Detroit
Lions by a lot.
Yeah, Detroit does not cover. They haven't covered the spread the last 3 or 4 games. They played the Bears, I think, on Thanksgiving. It was 9.5 point
Correct.
spread. Lions didn't cover
Barely
that
won.
game. They haven't been covering. The Lions are overvalued the last few weeks. That's why I took the Bills. I'll take the Bears on the spread, but take Detroit to barely win by 1 point.
Yeah, I would do the opposite. I would tease it up and get better odds because I think Detroit's going to want to come off of that loss last week and just take it out on someone.
Yes, sir. Cardinals Panthers. Another quick one.
Go ahead, B.
Cardinals. Moving on.
Yeah, I'll take the Cardinals too. Go ahead.
All right. Rams Jets.
Rams.
Big
moving
game
on.
for the Rams.
Yeah, I'm with the Rams. So I don't care if it's in New York. I'm taking the Rams too.
You got it. Eagles Commanders. Important.
This
For
is
the
a
Commanders.
close one. Brian, who you got?
I'm going to take the Eagles. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a loss, but the Eagles are playing strong football right now. There's no reason to think that they're going to lose playing as well as they've been playing.
And I'm taking the Eagles for the same reason I took them the first time they played. Until I actually see Washington beat a good team, I'm taking the good team, which is the Eagles.
Okay. Browns Bengals Sunday at 10.
Bengals.
Yep.
I'm taking the Bengals, but I'm not taking them to cover the 9-point spread. But I am taking actually, yes, I
It's
am.
only
I'll take the
8.
Bengals.
Yeah.
It's Dorian
Spread's only 8.
Thompson. My bad.
But yeah,
Go
it's
ahead.
still a lot.
Titans Colts. Oof. That's
Who cares?
I'm about to
Yeah,
say.
man, that's
agreed.
a bad. I'm
The
taking the
Colts,
underdog.
but who cares?
We
Whoever's
should-
the underdog.
And
I'll
we need to make bets now that like if you lose, you have to watch the whole game and like report on it.
Yeah, I'm taking the underdog. So I think it's Tennessee. I'll take Tennessee.
Okay. This is a big game. Vikings Seahawks. Sunday
So
1.
I don't like this spread.
Oh.
I think the spread is almost disrespectful to the Vikings. The Vikings are a 12-2 team whose 2 losses are against good Rams who are now about to win and the Lions, and they have them only a 3-point spread. I think the Vikings are going to win, but I always wonder or worry when I see spreads like this because there's no reason where Geno Smith is either hobbled or not playing his best right now to say that the Vikings should only be favored by 3. But anyways, I'll take the Vikings.
Okay, cool.
I'm looking at the Vikings schedule here on the road. They killed the Giants, barely beat the Packers. It looks like the Vikings aren't killing teams on the road. Lost to the Rams, barely beat the Jaguars. That's probably why the spread is so low.
They only had 2 losses all season, man. I don't know how you get that. One was at home, one was on the road.
I'm looking at the scores right now. It doesn't matter about loss. I'm looking at the point spread. While the point spread is only 3.5, it's not like they're not world beaters on the world, is what I'm saying. Looking at these scores, that's probably why the spread's so low. So I'm gonna go with Seattle on this one. I think this is could be a trap while the line is so low. You got a 12-2 team on the road, like Brian said, but I'm gonna go with Seattle on this one.
To win at home. Patriots Bills. Did the Bills score 40 for the 3rd straight week?
I mean, it could happen. I'm definitely. I can't take New England at all. I can't. I'll take the Bills. Yeah.
You're saying yes to the 40?
Yep.
Yeah, I would say they score 40. Yeah.
Allen's playing for the MVP right now. So even when it's obvious that he doesn't need to do any more in that game to win that game, he'll keep throwing it, keep checking it to try and run up the score for the MVP.
Why not? Yes, sir. Jaguars Raiders. Raiders win. Aiden O'Connell plays 17-13.
Aiden O'Connell's been playing this game?
I bet.
Okay. I'll take the Raiders again this week. I wouldn't mind backing them.
Yeah, I got.
Nope.
I abstain.
Fair enough.
I'm not trying to be mean, but it's
yeah. Hey, there's no reason to watch this game unless you're a fan of the team.
Two fired coaches coming up. So yeah, go ahead. Take the Raiders.
I think AP will get one more year. You should be in Miami, Coop. 49ers Dolphins, man. Surprised you're not out there.
Why? For what?
Have you been to Miami?
But I've been to Miami before, yes. But I wouldn't.
I just want to hear you say that you think the Dolphins are going to win after all that hate you put on
that's
Tua.
crazy. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Tua's going to beat you guys?
I hope so. I don't want to win this game. For what? I don't want to win.
Yeah.
I don't want to win. I'm taking. Is Tyreek Hill playing?
I don't know. I hope so.
I don't care. Miami's going to win.
What if they run it up? What if
it's only a 1-point spread, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It was
49ers
49ers-1. Now it's Miami -1. I'll take Miami. Go ahead, Miami. Beat us.
Tua throws hella touchdowns. That'd be hilarious. Buccaneers Cowboys Sunday night.
Bucks.
Oh man, that's just rough, man.
No, Bucks.
I'll take the Buccaneers.
Oh, you're looking at the spread.
Yeah, I'll take the Buccaneers.
This ain't
it's only a 4-point spread. And Buccaneers have been playing good football. They play hard.
Yeah.
The Cowboys struggle through everything.
Yeah, but the Cowboys, the underdog, is all they usually always cover. But anyway, yeah, I guess the Bucks.
Monday night, Saints Packers.
Packers are going to win this game. The only question is, can they cover 14.5 points? I think that's the biggest spread of the week. That's a lot of darn points.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Depending on what the weather is. If it's cold, I'm taking the Green Bay over a dome team all day on the spread. But I'm taking Green Bay to win the game, definitely.
All right, that's it. Coop, you already give out your game ball.
I got a second one. No, I got a second. I got 2 game balls today, man. My second game ball is going to go, like I said, I'm on this hype about Ben Johnson. He's supposed to be the greatest. Nobody's giving any props to Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. Ever since he's taken over for my man, fired Ken Dorsey, University of Miami ex-quarterback. Joe Brady has had Josh Allen playing at a very high level. They have a running game with Cook since he's been there. It's gotten better every week. They pretty much, the game wasn't close against the Lions. It was 45-28 with 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and they let the Lions score some points at the end because of that prevent defense. Bills were cooking them. Joe Brady's on his game right now, man, and he gets my other game ball along with Todd Bowles. So especially on that Lions win. Game wasn't close at all, fourth
Yeah.
quarter.
Mine goes to Mike Tomlin. Just consistently doing it at a high level for a very long time.
Mine goes to Quasi. I don't know. I hope gives it
the
Quasi
GM.
Adolfo Mensa, the GM of the Vikings. The Vikings are 12-2 in a season where they were not meant to compete. Some people on here to pick them dead last and in the gutter. And the positive news, and the reason why I'm picking the GM is not because he, divined something about Sam Darnold or anything like that. We have the 6th most cap space going into the offseason next year, which is a great place to be building off of a 12 and something win team, right? It could be, it could be more, it could be less, but they've got at least 12 wins. You're taking a 12 plus win team and able to add something like $78 million worth of cap space next year. That's outstanding. And that is all a testament to a general manager who has made some really tough decisions and letting Danielle Hunter go over to Houston and filling it in with spot players. And again, at the end of the preseason, he saw something that I wasn't sure that most people saw in Sam Darnold. He thought they could win, and they went and put together 1-year pieces in the secondary. And hats off to him for doing it. Game ball, because it's always a heartache. It's hard to watch the games, but they're winning unexpectedly.
Yeah, it seems like he's been putting together teams like on those put Kirk Cousins in, they got there, put this guy in, like he's been making it work. So that's still.
Dude always wears a suit to the game too. You just see him over there in the thing, just kind of taking his notes. He's all business.
Yeah, I would say. Hogwash.
What's y'all hogwash?
Anyone? Anything?
Sure. I ain't got one.
Yeah.
No. We'll let it go then.
Referees. That NFL referees still making some silly calls. I'm thinking of specifically that roughing the passer at the end of the Raider game, which is crazy. All right, minute to win it. Mine is, as always, as often, I should say, not always. Just thanks to everybody for listening. Really appreciate you guys checking us out.
Yeah, I'm on that same hype too, Glenn. B can close it out.
There's not much really to go into. So much crazy is going on. There's been another shooting. This time was the first time that a minor female was the shooter at a school in Wisconsin. My heart goes out to them. California, if you weren't paying attention, declared a state of emergency today due to the bird flu. That's crazy. Northern California, since the last time we talked, had a tornado after it just finished having an earthquake. That's crazy. The only thing I would say is, don't take your eyes off the prize. There's going to be a whole lot of headlines, but on January 20th, on Martin Luther King Day, unfortunately, that POS is about to become president. He's already doing some pretty crazy stuff. So keep your eyes on that.
Crazy. Sports Counterpoints podcast, December 18th, 2024. We will catch y'all next time. Peace.